you've looked at actually breaking down an essay title, it's actually starting to think about the process. What I often find is, students often leave things to the last minute. This is really going to set yourself up for some difficulties and struggles. It's really important you start and give yourself plenty of time to do the research and write the essay. This is where you're going to produce, a better standard of work. Understand and break down the question. Really check against the assessment criteria, the marking scheme and the word limit to ensure that you're clear about what you've got to do and what marks you're going to achieve for each section or element of that essay. Then you're going to gather your information, read literature, make notes, all the things we've kind of looked at and approaches that we've discussed in previous sessions about reading and making notes are going to help with this process. Then you might categorise information. You might use a matrix, a grid, concept maps, whatever it is that suits you to help you organise and compare the information. This is also going to help you to summarise. Then you're going to start to make a plan. This is when you actually structure and put some words down on paper of where the key topics and sentences and themes are actually going to fit into your essay. Once you've done your plan, then it's obviously moving on to the writing process. So prior to this kind of starting your essays, this is sort of a pre-checklist, and the following points and questions will also help with your essay planning and writing. So another way of kind of looking at your topic is writing down the question in your own words. Maybe make some notes on what you already know about the subject matter. What background information you're going to need to kind of look at to help you complete the essay. Maybe question yourself how this differs from other essays or how it is similar to other essays you've done. It might actually help you with the process of formulating the structure for this essay. Looking at what you're going to read and why you're going to read it. So, there's lots of information out there. You maybe need to be quite selective about the material that you pick to make sure it fits in with your assignment title. As you begin to read for the assignment, make notes within the essay in mind. So when you're reading, pick out the key points you think are going to be suitable for that essay. So all these key things in this pre-essay kind of writing stage are really going to be useful and helpful for you in that process. So we've discussed and looked at this before in previous sessions of how we helped you to brainstorm and develop ideas. So what you're going to do when you start to plan your essay, you're going to choose whatever method that is most suitable to you in your learning process. So it might be you use a concept map, you might do a linear notes, you may do a pyramid structure. So it's whatever's going to help you structure and formulate your ideas to help you kind of start your essay. So it's getting that pen to paper. It might be that the reading that you do, the notes that you make, you then, put into one of these structures, which obviously is going to give you direction. So now we've looked at the pre-stage. Now you've done some brainstorming. It's around essay structuring. So structuring and organising your work is important as the content. It's like building a piece of academic writing gains its structure and shape from several different elements. So it's obviously similar to kind of building the house. So an analogy that I've used here. So design, your argument, what you're trying to say, your argument should provide the structure you're writing. Then you're going to have a central framework for the essay to follow a structure. You might have scaffolding, so this is going to how you organise and plan your work, group your ideas, devise a work plan. Then part of your house obviously is the bricks. These are your paragraphs. Your writing is organised into paragraphs. Each paragraph has a structure itself. Obviously, we've looked at paragraphs and structures in the writing sessions previously. Then finally, there's the cement. This is the wording. This is the language you use, such as linking words, words with emphasis to highlight your points and show direction in your argument. So clearly, you can see there's some key components of an essay structure that you need to think about when designing and putting together your work. What you'll find, if you do some research on essay planning and structure, there'll be lots of different templates and frameworks that you can have a look at. What I've got on the screen here for you now is a paragraph, kind of 5-part model. So you've got the introduction, which is kind of the start point. You've got 3 kind of, within the 5-part model, you would have 3 kind of areas that you'd look at in the body, and then the 5th being the conclusion. Obviously, you may have more than 3 points in the body, but this, based on the 5-part model, that's what an essay structure that focuses on. So within this, in introduction, would probably start off at being at sort of 5 to 10% length. It's looking to orientate the reader, make comments about the topic, maybe tell the reader how you answer the question, identify the focus and the purpose, and outline the scope, what you will cover and why. People often start to write an introduction as their start point. maybe this is something you maybe write last, because once you know where your essay is going, you can help you to then revisit this introduction. Okay, so the main body, this is going to be sort of 75 to 80% length of your wordage of your essay. So it answers the question in a chain of paragraphs that build to present a case. So each paragraph should hopefully contain a topic sentence to introduce and define the paragraph, supporting details when offering argument, offers evidence and discusses it. And then the final element of that paragraph would be a concluding sentence which makes a final point. This is obviously something we've already looked at when we looked at paragraph structures within our sessions on writing skills. Your final element to the essay is you're going to restate the thesis or restate the main points of the arguments. You could include some recommendations. You're going to summarise and you're going to prove that you've answered the question. When we're using this essay structure, what we do is plan, we draft, we revise, we go back and review it, and then we revisit and edit it. So it's not just a simple process of writing and handing it in. You need to look at your work, plan it, draft out your ideas, make sure you review, because that reflection process is really important, and then look at editing and changing anything that you need to make sure you're answering that question. This is another example of an essay planning technique. I've included a website link at the bottom of the page. There's various different graphics and essay planning and lots of other kind of templates available on this website on dailyteachingtools.com. They're free for you to download and use, so it's a really good resource. And I'll create a link to that website within this folder on Blackboard. In terms of the slight difference, obviously what you've got here is similar to the kind of the 5 paragraph format. It's just it's included some other additional things in terms of transitions between paragraphs and key information. So you draft the ordering of the sections and put your ideas and link paragraphs. You look at the structure and grouping paragraphs, so paragraphs should be linked. Then you develop conclusions on your essay based on the points that you've made. And then obviously the last thing, as I said, you'd probably go back to revisit that introduction, clearly stating about what you're trying to do and direct the reader and what you're going to discuss. So as I said, there's lots of different models and templates that you can use to plan essays. And then one of the tasks I'm going to be asking you to do as part of your kind of portfolio is to actually complete an essay plan for your topic.